Now you are taking a live look from Capitol Hill, where the Senate is set to vote on a government funding proposal.
The U.S. government could potentially be shutting down tonight at midnight as Republicans and Democrats struggling to agree on a spending plan for the 2026 fiscal year that begins tomorrow. News 2's Hannah Baker spoke with officials about how a shutdown could impact us right here in the Lowcountry.
If the federal government does shut down, some local services will be disrupted. From national parks shutting down to federal employees being furloughed, the impacts will be felt here in the Lowcountry.
We have all this revenue, but there hasn't been agreement on how to spend it.
The clock is ticking. Republican and Democratic lawmakers have until midnight tonight to meet in the middle on an argument that has been a long time in the making.
Every year they are supposed to pass more than a dozen appropriation bills, and we just haven't done that. They use these continuing resolutions, and today is the day that they have to come up with an idea of whether they will extend for a shorter period of time or be able to just extend all of the government funding for the next year.
If the shutdown occurs, the federal government will be without money to pay its workers, meaning some who provide critical services like air traffic controllers and Transportation Security Administration workers will be forced to continue working without pay.
Classified in this case TSA within the law enforcement capacity, it's that they would be called furloughed, so they'd be working and not being paid at that time. Once the funding bill goes through, they'll receive the money for the work that they did.
We did reach out to TSA to see how this would impact travelers and security. They said they don't have any updates on operations right now, but they will keep us updated. Meanwhile, travelers are bracing for potential impacts.
I travel a lot, so personally I'm worried about how that's going to be impacted. But I worry about not just sort of the day-to-day functionality of our government, but what it says about our system.
Federal employees that don't provide essential services, like national parks employees, will also be impacted. With limited funds to keep things running, sites like Fort Moultrie and Fort Sumter could be forced to operate with limited staff or temporarily shut down.
In 2013, we lost access to national parks, but that wasn't the case in 2018. So it really determines right now of where individuals have money and how much they can spend for the next few weeks. Some of the individuals that work for the Fish and Wildlife, they would sort of be number one affected.
With just hours to go until the deadline, people tell me they're feeling uncertain.
I have a lot of family in D.C. that work with government and for government, so yeah, that would be one thing I would be worried about, is that are they going to be impacted?
The deadline for the parties to come to an agreement is midnight tonight, and you can count on 2 for updates. Reporting in downtown Charleston, I'm Hannah Baker. Count on 2.
And we are continuing our coverage in tonight's Political Minute. Blake Berman breaks down the history of past shutdowns and their impact.
Government shutdowns explained. I'm Blake Berman, host of The Hill on News Nation. Shutdowns happen when Congress fails to pass legislation to fund government operations. Now, there have been 20 lapses in funding since 1976. When the current budget process was first introduced. They've happened under both Republican and Democratic administrations. The longest shutdown in that time span, 2018. During the first Trump administration, it lasted 35 days. During that time, an estimated 380,000 employees were furloughed and received back pay. Another 420,000 reported to work, but weren't paid until the shutdown ended. Research shows shutdowns can hurt the economy. A Senate report in 2019 estimated that government shutdowns in 2013, 2018, and 2019 wasted nearly $4 billion taxpayer dollars. Longer shutdowns can impact the private sector as well, because businesses cannot obtain federal permits, certifications, and loans when the government is shuttered. I'm Blake Berman, and this is the News Nation Political Minute.